I think the odds are very low for you to eat your hat.
Probably need to see Bitcoin, which I am looking for,
Yeah.
to lead again and to continue to push to new highs.
Are you looking for Ethereum, Charlie, likely in 2025 or in the next few months to exceed the highs it made in 2024?
Wow, what a move. This is the first time I've
Yeah.
looked at it. I had a friend of mine ask me about another crypto, a brand new crypto, just a few weeks ago. And he said, "Oh, it's going to go to the moon. I've got to buy it before Friday." That's now down 50%.
I mean, if Bitcoin continues its bullishness, do you think that there's potential odds for XRP to reach that 2021 high that it made?
I would rather make less money or in percentage gains and trade the Rolls Royce, which is Bitcoin.
Most of these cryptos are, in my view, completely and utterly worthless. All right, guys, hello and welcome. We're joined here by my good friend and trader, Charlie Burton. We're going to be asking Charlie his views on three particular cryptos. Well, first of all, Bitcoin. And we're going to ask Charlie whether he thinks Bitcoin could eventually stay above 100K by the end of this year. Then about Ethereum and XRP. It's really quite interesting. All right, guys, join us. Welcome back. So, Charlie, how are you doing? Do you look at other key cryptos other than Bitcoin? Like, for example, do you look at Ethereum and XRP? I remember one time you actually had XRP as well. I remember. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
you still
did.
have them or not. Yeah.
Yeah, and but I've just gone full out for the biggest really now.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, I the only currently the only crypto that I hold is Bitcoin. It's
Okay.
like the Rolls Royce of crypto. So that's the only crypto that I actually hold.
Sure.
But I do like to look at Ethereum. There's the mounting story of the new ETFs there as well. But so I like to have a look at it, but it's massively underperforming Bitcoin, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Ethereum is underperforming Bitcoin. Now, as we're making this video, Bitcoin is currently just under 100K, just hovering near the just 93, 95K level. It's potentially likely that by the time this video goes live, we'll be at 100K. So the bottom line is this: by the end of this year, I mean, we're only about a month away before Christmas or by the end of this year. Do you think that Bitcoin, I think the odds are very low for you to eat your hat because you said the last video you made, well, the last interview we had, you said you might eat your hat if we won't reach 100K. I think your hat is safe. There's no chance of you eating it. Do you think we'll stay above 100K by the end of this year and potentially even head higher than that? Personally, I think it's quite likely. We're going to reach 100K and go above it. But what about you? Do you think the same?
I do really. It was actually beginning of this year that we had that chat, or it might have even been the end of last year when I talked about, eating my hat if it didn't get to
Mm.
100,000 this year. Prior years, I was more bearish on it. But for this year, no, I was quite bullish for it. So, yeah, it looks like the hat's safe. But going into the end of the year, if we see 100,000, then yes, I am pretty bullish for it. I just think it's the next milestone, really.
Mm.
And so in its March, generally speaking, higher. Even if we get to 100,000, the one thing I'll be looking out for is the sentiment. So if I see the sentiment starting to get a bit too frothy, somewhere north of 100,000, of course, there's going to be other retracements in Bitcoin, but I'll be watching the sentiment for that to see if we start seeing too much euphoria there. And so, but nevertheless, I think it's a milestone. It's a level to breach, and if we get to that, then it's just another tick box for Bitcoin to ultimately push higher.
Before we continue, let me also say that in the member videos back in October, we were actually calling for Bitcoin to head higher in a wave five. I'll put the video here. I'll edit that into the video so you can see it. So my higher probability expectation is for Bitcoin to eventually move into that upper zone, 74K to 78K. And yes, potentially even higher into the 85K region as well. Wave 4, which took out in capitulation, I think we saw capitulation just below 50K into the 49K support. And this is now, I believe, the larger degree wave 5 in the next several weeks and months, taking us into the upper zones. I think likely by the end of this year, we can see the wave 5 extend to much higher levels. Okay, so I think this wave 5 would take us eventually into not just 74, 75K, but eventually much higher levels into the 85K, 93,650, and eventually 100K. Okay, so that to me seems much more probable, much more likely that final wave 5 could take us significantly higher. So that is exactly pretty much what Bitcoin has done. So again, if you haven't watched the member videos, go ahead and do so. So Charlie, about sentiment, I think that's a very good point you make there, because I don't think the sentiment or the emotional behavior of people out there, I think it's certainly getting there, euphoria. I don't think it's extreme euphoria, because I know what extreme euphoria looks like. That's when people who, the least person you expect calls you up out of the blue, Charlie, and then says, "Hey, how do you buy Bitcoin?" Like, I remember when Bitcoin for the first time hit 60K some years ago, I think in 2021, I think that was. When Bitcoin hit 60K in 2021, I got texts from people who never had an interest, had zero interest in Bitcoin until that point, saying they're now thinking of buying Bitcoin. And that's the time when I thought, oh man, this is a top in the market now. And I remember I was seeing television commercials about how to make wealth and become rich in Bitcoin and crypto. I mean, that tells you huge warning signs that something is not right. When there's television commercials, seminars about how to become rich in Bitcoin and crypto.
Yeah, 100%. It was the same for me at that time as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I turned bearish back in the March, April of that, or whatever year it was, 21, like you say, maybe it was, I can't remember now. We can look out for that from, like you said, from new retail coming in, the people coming in last, so to speak.
Yeah.
Also headline articles in
Yeah.
financial publications, but also
Yes.
just general newspaper publications if they start talking about it as well. Because if it's in your national newspapers, then your average Joe out there is reading the national
Yeah.
newspapers. So there's lots of ways that we can monitor sentiment, as well as we can look at professional sentiment as well. But what we're really interested in is what's the retail, when the retail crowd, as you said, start piling in, that's when I get my spidey senses go off and that's when I start to get nervous. I say nervous, but nervous of its potential upside. So that's what we'll be looking out for at some point. I agree with you. I don't think we're there yet, but at some point we'll reach an element of euphoria again, which will probably mark some form of high and
Yeah.
a pullback for a while. Okay, I've got a weekly chart of Ethereum here
Yeah. Yeah.
for you. One thing with Ethereum at the moment, this is the weekly, first of all,
Yeah. Yeah.
is hopefully you can see this 3,500 area
Yeah.
going way back. So for me, although it's good, the Ethereum's sort of woken up a little bit, and I think it needs a little bit more, and I think it needs to get through that 3,500 area from a technical perspective. Because if we go back to the weekly chart, daily chart, although it's had a good run, that 3,500 area is still. Of course, you're going to see some. There'll be technical traders who will already like this leg we've just
Yeah.
had and the pullback. That's fine, but I'm talking generally speaking as a confirmation. We need to get through on a closing basis 3,500 to give more confirmation that that's where it's going. I mean, it does look pretty encouraging at the moment, but that's really the confirmation that I would be wanting on that one.
Very good point. I mean, at the moment, it's three waves up on Ethereum from that low we made in August. It's made a three-wave zigzag to the upside on that weekly chart that you just showed. So that looks at the moment like a corrective rally. I need to see five waves up. But look, are you looking for Ethereum, Charlie, likely in 2025 or in the next few months to exceed the highs it made in 2024? Which was approximately at just under, or approximately 4,000. I think that high was approximately there.
I mean, I don't spend much time on Ethereum, I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
So I'm just giving an anecdotal view here
yeah,
in that
yeah, yeah,
regard. So, like I said, I'm much more interested in what Bitcoin's doing. But so what we would need to see is Bitcoin's been leading. And so we'd probably need to see Bitcoin, which I am looking for,
yeah,
to lead again and to continue to push to new highs. And I suspect that would act as a beneficiary to easy for me to say, Ethereum.
yeah,
So if it's going to breach this year's highs, then we need to see Bitcoin comfortably above 100,000.
yeah. Good point there. I think you're right. Okay, let's go to chart of XRP very quickly as well, because we always get requests for people saying, "Hey, can you look at XRP?"
Okay. Wow, what a move. This is the first time I've looked at it because I
Oh,
don't
really?
trade
Wow.
cryptos. Oh, the first time I've looked at it in a while. You
Yeah.
can see I've got an old trend line on here,
Yeah.
going back, but I haven't looked at it in a while. So yeah, no wonder people want, that's the thing. People will always want to hear about stuff when it's had an amazing move.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
forget all the ones. I had a friend of mine asked me about another crypto, a brand new crypto just a few weeks ago. And he said, "Oh, it's going to go to the moon. I've got to buy it before Friday." Just
Mm.
that's now down 50%.
Oh, really? Wow.
And people forget about all the tokens that don't do very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
but
That's right.
yeah, technically that's a very good run, isn't it? I mean, I'm not up on what's going on with XRP, but yeah, technically great trend line break. It's taken out all these last highs, going all lower highs. So from a technical perspective, what it's actually done is having taken out, especially this last lower high here, that confirms this low here as a higher low, because once that was a lower high in technical analysis terms, um, once we take that out, which we took out over here, so we've now got a higher high,
Hmm.
and that confirms that as a higher low. So technically, that's good. Yeah.
Are you looking potentially? I mean, if Bitcoin continues its bullishness and its potential
Mm.
uptrend, do you think, I mean, I'm guessing this is what people really want to know, Charlie. Do you think that there's potential odds for XRP to reach that 2021 high that it made near the $2 level?
Of course, there is a potential. Of course, just looking at it technically,
Yeah,
I don't know the backstory to what's been going on in the last week.
yeah,
So apologies on that because it's not my market. So
yeah,
I have to say, I would rather make less money or in percentage gains and trade the Rolls Royce, which is Bitcoin,
yeah, yeah,
than oh yeah, well, this one could make more in percentage gains. Yes, it
yeah,
could. But I would still rather, Bitcoin will still do well. But yes, if Bitcoin carries on going higher, then of course, potentially that could happen. But having said that, XRP had been underperforming for a long, long time. So it
yeah.
does have its own story. But technically, at the moment, it looks encouraging. Yes.
Yeah. Let me also say that these videos, this particular video, as well as other videos, are for educational purposes only. This is not a recommendation by any means to buy or sell any particular crypto or market. Again, cryptos are pretty much unregulated. Most of these cryptos are, in my view, completely and utterly worthless. And extremely risky. By the way, guys, if you haven't yet subscribed or joined Charlie's great trading service, do so. Let me also say that this promotion will end at the end of this year. So if you haven't yet taken it up, I would highly suggest do it today as you're watching this video. So what you can do is go on this link, charlieburtontrading.com/LT Gold, apply the promo code LT Gold, and that drops the price down to £1, which is about $1.30 approximately. And again, do it today as you're watching this video because this promotion ends at the end of this year. Charlie, can you give us an idea of what people can get in your trading service, in your gold level membership?
I'm an ex five times trading champion as well. And so I've got a bit of history. I've been trading 27 years. And the online trading room that I have, I'm there 5 days a week. And we do sessions throughout the day. And what I'm looking for a lot of the time is big risk reward ratio opportunities. So risking this amount to make this amount. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. And that's what I'm showing people what I'm doing with my funds that I manage. And so they can look at all the techniques that I use and they can either do exactly the types of analysis and these big risk reward ratio opportunity trades that I'm looking for, or they can take that, and I've got members who are using it on much shorter time frames and they're trading off of 4 hour charts or even intraday as well, using the same techniques that I use, but just for what's personal for them. So that's what we're doing there. It's a great community of traders with all sorts of levels of experience. I have people with less than a year of experience, but I also have people with over 30 years of experience in my room as well.
That's great. Yeah, guys, by all means, check it out. Take it for a test drive. I think you'll greatly benefit from it. So the link is right there for you guys. It's in the description. charlieburtontrading.com/LT Gold. Apply the promo code on the page. That drops the price down for you to £1 or indeed $1.30 approximately. Thank you very much, Charlie. Cheers.